There exists a photograph that should not exist. It was taken in 2016 with a simple cell phone, in front of a remote monastery hidden in the mountains of Lebanon. It shows an elderly monk blessing a woman. A touching image, if not for one chilling detail. When the photo was shown to the monks of that monastery, their response froze the blood. This man is not one of us. We have never seen him. So then, who is the man in the picture? Prepare yourself, because the answer is hidden in a face that belongs to another century and in a healing that science cannot explain. This is the story of an impossible encounter, documented by evidence you can see with your own eyes. It all begins on the other side of the world, in Australia. A woman of Italian origin receives the news no one ever wants to hear: terminal cancer. The doctors are honest, brutal. There is nothing left to be done. Her life has an expiration date. Imagine the darkness, the fear, the crushing sense that every last spark of hope has been extinguished. It is at this moment, the lowest point in her life, that a Lebanese friend whispers a name to her: Charbel. She tells her about a saintly monk who lived and died in Lebanon more than a century earlier, through whose intercession God had granted thousands of miraculous healings. For the woman, it sounded like a distant fairy tale. But when medicine slams every door shut, sometimes the only window left open is faith. With a courage she didn't know she possessed, she made a radical decision to embark on a journey of 14,000 kilometers from Australia to the small monastery of Annaya in Lebanon. It was her final prayer, a desperate pilgrimage to a place she had never known, to ask help from a saint she had never met. Winter 2016. The mountains of Lebanon are draped in snow. The monastery of Annaya is a place of absolute silence, suspended between heaven and earth. The woman, accompanied by her son and her friend, arrives exhausted but full of hope. But there, another disappointment awaits. The church doors are closed. Imagine the heartbreak. After such a journey, she cannot even enter to pray at the saint's tomb. She stops outside in the cold, her heart heavy. And that's when the unexpected happens. Out of nowhere, an elderly monk appears. He has a long, white beard, a hood over his head, and eyes deep and serene. He approaches her slowly and asks in a calm voice, "Why have you come here?" The woman tells him everything: the illness, the hopelessness. She asks only one thing: a blessing. The monk smiles. He places his hand on her head and begins to pray. At that moment, her son, moved by the scene, instinctively pulls out his phone and takes a picture. A simple gesture, meant only as a keepsake. A gesture that was about to change everything. After the blessing, the woman feels filled with an unexplainable peace. They thank the monk and get back in the car to return. On the way, her son scrolls through the photos he just took, until he stops on that one image. He stares at it, zooms in. His heart skips a beat. He calls the attention of his mother and her friend. "Look," he says, his voice trembling. The face of the monk who blessed them was not that of an ordinary man. It bore an astonishing, unmistakable resemblance to the icons and portraits of Saint Charbel Makhlouf. The same gaze, the same beard, the same expression. Stunned, disbelieving, they turn the car around and rush back to the monastery. They find other monks and show them the photo, asking, "Who is this brother? We would like to thank him again." The monks look at the image. They exchange confused glances. Their reply is firm and final. "No one here looks like this. There is no monk in this monastery who resembles the man in this photo." A chill runs through them. If that man was not a monk of the monastery, then who was he? The woman returns to Australia with that mysterious photo and a heart renewed in hope. A few days later, she undergoes new medical tests, the ones that should have confirmed the unstoppable advance of her disease, but the results leave the doctors speechless. There is no longer any trace of cancer. It had completely, unexplainably, vanished. Now, the truth was undeniable. He was no ordinary monk. He was Saint Charbel, dead since 1898. Yet in 2016, he had appeared to bless her and intercede for her before God. But who was this man able to cross time to perform a miracle? Youssef Antoun Makhlouf, born in 1828, chose a life of absolute prayer as a Maronite monk, taking the name Charbel. He lived the last 23 years as a hermit, in silence, fasting, and perpetual adoration. At his death, his body remained incorrupt for decades, exuding a miraculous fluid. And from his tomb, inexplicable healings began to occur. The Catholic Church officially recognized his miracles, declaring him a saint in 1977. To this day, the monastery of Annaya has documented more than 29,000 miracles attributed to his intercession. And the Australian woman's case is among the most powerful, because we don't just have her testimony. This time it is different. It is not a private vision. It is not a dream. It is a digital photograph, a visual proof reported by international Catholic networks that challenges our skepticism. In an age of fake news and manipulated images, it is as if God wanted to leave us a sign, a document that says, "I am here, and my saints still walk among you." This story is not only about a physical healing, it speaks to each one of us. That woman represents our fears, our illnesses, our battles that seem already lost. And her journey shows us that even when human logic says it's over, faith can open a door where there was only a wall. The saints are not plaster statues locked in the past. They are alive in Christ, bridges of love between us and God. And now I want to leave you with a question. If Saint Charbel could appear and even be photographed in the 21st century to answer the prayer of a desperate woman, what could God do today in your own life through the intercession of his saints? Now I invite you to do something. Don't keep your burden to yourself. Let's use this space not only to comment, but to pray together. Write below in the comments your personal prayer to Saint Charbel. Write the name of someone you want to pray for, a difficult situation you are living, an illness you are facing. Saint Charbel, I pray for. Let's transform this comment section into a living chain of prayer. Each of us can read the intentions of others and pray for them. There is no prayer more powerful than that of a community united in faith. May God bless us all.